Hey, what's up, everybody?
And welcome back to Mile Higher Podcast, episode 358. I'm your host, Kendall.
I'm Josh.
Why do you do that? Josh.
I just am trying to be unique and different.
Okay.
Josh is one of the most common names in the world, and so I'm
is.
trying to...
We are
Switch it
European
up.
today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Lots of European bros.
We're going all over the world. Who else is here? Our production crew, as always, the fantastic Ian and the wondrous Janelle,
Dude,
who's
I just-
injured and
oh my
31
God.
years old.
No, I just ran my toe over.
What?
With the chair?
How'd you do
Yes,
that? Oh, no.
like two of them.
Oh,
Two of the
no.
toes?
Yes,
Do you need
dude.
pass? Do you need
I
help?
might. That hurt.
Should I call a medic?
So unbelievably bad. My big toe's throbbing
Oh, no.
with the fucking wheel.
You were just talking about how you injured your hip like 2 minutes
Ah!
ago. Now you really can't. You can't run anymore. It's all over for you.
No, you have no idea how bad that hurt just now. I just saw stars.
Do you need frozen peas?
Oh, that hurts so bad. Someone kiss
Someone get
it.
her
These two are both injured. Ian's barely here. He was very sick and slept wrong, so hurt himself badly.
I was
Slept
just
wrong.
adjusting
What was
this
that?
blanket, and my fucking wheel ran over my toe.
Well, I'm feeling great. I'm not injured at all. I'm feeling young and spry and ready to talk about sperm. We're talking about the birds and the bees. A lot of bees and a lot of birds.
And the man with 1,000, maybe more.
Birds
Children.
and bees and children.
What?
Yep, you probably have heard of this guy. We covered him on the sesh
Yeah,
a
we
year
did.
ago.
How long ago? A while
Like a
ago?
year ago,
not-
yeah.
yeah,
Not
last
not
year.
in depth like this, but
Last year we talked about him.
yep. There was a Netflix documentary on him, so a lot of people saw that. The man with 1,000 kids.
Yeah,
Johnathan.
I really want to know more about sperm donors. Because I like to think maybe I'd be interested in that.
Kendall would never allow that.
Hell no.
No, not in a relationship, but in a parallel universe. Had I not met you,
Oh, like,
maybe I would have been interested
Ew,
in
don't say that.
spreading my seed.
I've
You
thought
love
about
to say
donating my
inflammatory
eggs.
things, don't you? What?
You can donate eggs. I've kind of thought about it.
Why not? That
Makes some quick money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Sperm
if you
don't
weren't
pay
like
that
gonna
well.
do it,
No.
Sperm don't pay
No,
well.
sir.
Well, it's a lot easier for you guys to
True.
collect a sperm sample
Than
than
getting
an
an
egg.
egg. Yes.
you can't like. Well, I guess I don't know how many times you can donate eggs. I wonder how that works.
That I don't know.
And to be clear, I wasn't saying like I'm against sperm donation because it is a very useful tool that we need in this world. We need sperm.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need sperm donors, but you've got to limit how much sperm you donate or it becomes problematic.
Well, we just need to have some sort of oversight over the process and a way to track and record so that we don't end up in situations of incest and
That's what we have learned.
siblings falling in love because there's a
There's zero
million half
regulation on
siblings
this.
running around and they have no idea.
Yep. And then they fall in love and they don't know their siblings and problem.
Things can happen.
Things
Yeah.
can happen. And yeah, we learned there's really no regulation on this. Barely any.
But primarily we'll be talking about one individual who is probably up there as far as most egregious sperm donors of all time. Mr.
Obviously is up there.
Johnathan Jacob-Meier.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
basically.
say
Who is the subject of the Netflix documentary, The Man with 1,000 Kids. But we're also going to be talking about some other sperm bros, as the term that they use for themselves, that also are out there pumping it out, pumping out the samples.
Ew.
And it's just wild. I had no idea how it's really the Wild West,
It is.
the spermy Wild West. I mean, it's just, there's
Very
this,
salty out there.
There's sperm everywhere.
it's,
It was sperm salty. Why do you say salty?
Kendall, are you being serious?
oh
Yeah,
my
I'm
God,
being
are we really going to
serious.
go there right
It's
now?
salty?
All right.
Kendall.
Sorry, I'm lost. It's salty? Okay.
I'm just going to let the comments
She's
take care of that
winking
one.
right now.
No, I'm not.
Anyways,
That's like a very known thing.
That it's salty?
Yes,
I didn't know
dude.
that.
unless a guy eats a
What?
bunch of pineapple, it's salty.
I'm dreading the comments on this already. I'm
Haven't
gonna
you
leave it
ever
at
heard
that.
the joke of the reason the ocean's so salty is because of all the sperm whales?
No.
That's a good joke.
I've heard the baby pool's warm because babies are peeing in it.
No.
My brain's in a weird place today.
Wow. Well, if you're still here,
Yeah, what
there's
the...
more to this episode than Everything
this is
you
going
just
to be a
heard.
wild one. I do feel that.
So let's just start talking about this, because this is going to be a very interesting and dynamic conversation we're having.
The most we've ever had.
Dynamic.
It's dynamic.
Uh-huh.
It is. I would say it's dynamic.
It's very dynamic. It's ever changing, and it could change. The outcomes could continue to change.
protean.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, when talking about donated sperm, it's an important function and service that we need to have available.
Of course.
For those
On the rail.
families that can't do it on their own, they have somewhere to turn to help get eggs fertilized, right?
For whatever the reason may
For
be.
whatever reason it may be. Yeah, so it's important. And that's why essentially sperm banks were created.
Mhm.
And they function, and they functioned. This whole concept of donating sperm has been around. Sperm has been around for a long, long time, since the beginning of time.
Probably forever, yeah.
Back in the olden days, they'd just be like, hey, my buddy can give a good sample, and just like they'd have their friend do it.
Or like I'm sure there was situations like even in the cave days where like, hey, it's not working for us.
Yeah.
Can you give it a shot?
Yeah. Be like, Gerald, hey, buddy, I need your help.
Gerald in the cave.
Yeah.
Gerald.
Gerald the caveman and Johnny, he had to have his buddy help him out. He's like, I'll go fetch food for your family, but I need you to inseminate my wife because I need to have a child. So this has been going on since the dawn of time. But obviously, as time has gone on and things have evolved, there's always going to be people who jump at opportunities to satisfy their own personal selfish desires. And whatever those may be, there's several different reasons for that. According to a study published in 2020, over 500,000 women in the U.S. alone have used donated sperm to get pregnant. That's quite a few. And that number is likely even higher, because a lot of these figures, because it's not studied or tracked, are all estimated. Just keep that in mind, because there's no data being collected on this, which is wild.
Yeah. You would think they would be really keeping track of this shit.
Like the individual banks keep track of their own stats, but there's no like oversight over all of them keeping track of like reproductive situations going on globally or nationally, whatever it may be. And there's not really legislation there currently to force that sort of oversight and regulation, which is a whole other thing of like, well, do we want that? Do we want regulation and oversight from the government in reproductive health more? That's a big question, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of debates.
But there are, and there are locally and in states and in even some countries, there's official caps of like how many children a donor can have. So a lot of times it's caps of 10 or fewer per one donor. But again, there's no way to really track this to see if how many a donor truly has, because there's no system that's doing it, which is wild.
So a donor in any country, really. I mean,
so a donor can hop around, even though in the actual paperwork you sign at that particular bank, it will probably say you're only giving your donations here, but there's nobody enforcing any of these agreements or clauses, or there's no oversight beyond just signing a piece of paper.
And if you were to write down all the things that our governments across the world do track when it comes to our personal lives, you would think that this would be a priority, but it's not. For a lot of countries, you still can't even marry a same-sex partner, but you can donate tons of sperm. Fuck it. Who cares? It's crazy.
It's wild. But on top of that, the price of receiving sperm from an official bank or donation has continued to go up, and it's somewhere between $500 to $2,000, in some cases even more. And so because the price of these sperm donations or these samples have gone up so much, a lot of families that need this service can't afford it. And so this has created a demand and a rise in independent donors who provide the sperm themselves. And this is where it really gets wild, because obviously nobody's keeping track of what these individuals are doing who are now freelance sperm donors. So it's pretty wild. Among these independent donors, there are so-called super donors, and these are donors who have supplied families with 10 plus children. And they often do this for free. I was very surprised at that. I was like, they do it for free?
Yeah. What do you think the reason for that is, right?
Yeah, you have to question that.
Yeah.
And then the family will often fly them out, travel accommodations, hotel, whatever it may be, to bring them there. and they pay for all of it. So
And I
free
think
travel.
To correct myself too, I think some people probably do just do it out of the kindness of their heart, especially if it's someone that they know or they're like in the same church or community or there's some reason like that. But people that are just doing it for free to the masses,
Especially
There's-
super donors.
there's personal reasons behind why
Yeah,
they enjoy it.
right. While a lot of these donors claim to be doing this out of the kindness of their heart, it's charitable work for them. They're just trying to help families. Because there's a lack of legislation surrounding sperm donation and anonymity, this can lead to a lot of different problems, as you can probably imagine, including genetic defects, unknown family health issues, and the risk of accidental incest, just to name a few. Among these super donors, one holds the title of having more children than any other human in history, and that man is Johnathan Jacob-Meier, who is featured in the documentary The Man with 1,000 Kids. And it's estimated he has anywhere from 550 to 3,000 children worldwide. Absolutely insane. However, while he is claimed to be a super donor who is willing to stay in the lives of the children he's provided samples for other families, he lied to many of the families he donated to, saying he had only provided sperm for a maximum of 3 other families, which is a very critical piece of information to just lie about.
Mhm.
Probably one of the most critical pieces of information.
And why would you lie if you're just trying to help people? Why would you lie to people you're trying to help? That doesn't
Right.
really add up, right?
Right. So to understand Mr. Johnathan and the world of these super donors, we have to go back to the story that initially made him famous in the first place and brought attention to the issue of donor fraud worldwide. Because this is, as you'll see, kind of starts with him, but then there's a lot of other people who are following in his footsteps and clearly aren't doing this for all the right reasons.
No, they're doing it because they're sperm bros.
Mm-hmm.
That term just fully sends me. But anyway, back to Johnathan. So for many mothers, their introduction to Johnathan started like Vanessa van Ewejik, who was a carpenter in the Netherlands. And in 2015, Vanessa had just turned 34 and wanted to have children even though she was single. So at first, she looked into receiving a donation through a fertility clinic, but as we mentioned, she cannot afford the steep, ridiculous cost of going through an official clinic. So like many other mothers in the Netherlands, she went through a website called Desire for a Child, which is a list of online donors who were willing to match with parents directly. Now, since this is basically like Tinder for sperm donations, not all of the accounts were particularly inviting. Some of them are quite creepy. Some of the men said that they only donate through the natural way, and then others provided baby pictures along with little information about themselves. So they have like no idea who they're actually getting sperm from. And one couple reported speaking to a man named Leon who only provided baby pictures through the site. And when they asked to see current photos, he sent some that appeared strange, blurry, and unfocused. And when they finally met Leon in person, they discovered he was bald with a large scar extending between his ears and the back of his head. And that was not their preference. No hate to the baldies from us. But yeah, they were concerned. And so in the Wild West of independent sperm donations, Johnathan stood out.
I picked this video of Jonathan's because I thought the title was really funny. Is how to defeat an enemy.
An enemy in all caps.
Any enemy.
Any enemy.
Any enemy. Okay, let's hear it.
To respect your time, the time that you've been given by God. So by wasting it on fights and creating more anger and more hate, it's not really very positive and good. And
Hate is not
it's
positive.
it's not making your life better as well. Instead, it's making it worse. When you have enemies, you have to work on it to eliminate them. And of course, in a non-harmful way. I know people that think, enemies, you should beat them up or do whatever. That's the first thing, the mistake that people will make when they deal with enemies. They think that a problem that they have with an enemy is a physical problem. But never the case. It's always a spiritual problem, a mental problem. And you have to deal with it in a spiritual way. So when somebody is hindering...
Just want to get a vibe check so far.
It's a good vibe check.
How are we feeling about John?
You know, at least he's against hate.
He's against, and he's very positive. He's very
positive. Yeah.
He believes in non-violent resolutions.
Exactly.
We can just keep that flowing hair,
It's got nice hair.
nice bone structure.
Props
See why many
for
people wanted
standing
it.
out in the cold.
Yeah, he
doing
can
a
get
video.
points for that. Sure.
That's a
Yeah,
blistering-
it's a great background.
Yeah.
It's not.
He does this in all of his
AI.
videos too. He just goes outside. He always does his like videos outside, just
Oh.
in nature somewhere.
That sounds great.
This is cool.
But you hear how bad that sounds?
Yeah.
It'd be great to do that though, wouldn't it? My mom recently was like, you should like film all of your podcasts in Florida where I live, like on the beach. It's like, wouldn't that be so nice? We just
Huh.
did it on the beach.
It would be nice.
But it would sound horrible.
Actually, that'd be really annoying.
Yeah.
There's sand everywhere.
would be,
It'd
yeah.
sticky.
Yeah.
And you
There's-
wouldn't want to work. You wouldn't want to be recording a show. You'd want to go be in the ocean, lay in the sun, you know?
Yeah.
Quite distracting. Anyway, you can leave him on the screen. You can see why people wanted Johnathan, right? He's young-ish. He's got long, flowing hair
Has
like
nice
a lion.
Blue eyes.
Blue eyes, pink lips, nice bone structure.
As he says, he has
Nice facial
above
hair.
average hair.
Yeah,
No,
I'd say that's fair.
definitely.
That's
Above
fair.
average hair.
Mm-hmm.
He is not quite Brad Pitt, but he's on his way.
He's Bradish,
Mhm.
if you will. But yeah, what was also very appealing about Johnathan is he was actually posting current photos of himself, which is a big win for people. And he also posted the baby pictures too. So, double win. And more than that, he was extremely open about everything. He posted regularly to his YouTube channel, as you can see, documenting his travels across the world and giving advice for investing in cryptocurrency and defeating enemies. What other topics would you possibly need? Doesn't Johnathan seem, and like knowing what he does, of course, cryptocurrencies and enemy defeating is exactly what I would picture him to be doing.
It's the kind of like the cracked coder mentality, Viking shit. Like I
Yes.
just have to be beast at everything.
Yeah,
Like,
alpha male.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, that's Johnathan.
If you've been a Mile Higher listener for years, you know that we haven't always been sitting in this nice studio with these producers that we love and all this equipment. We started in the basement just like everybody else did, with no clue on how to podcast or let alone how to run a business. And we just figured it out over time. And one service that has been amazingly helpful to helping us grow over the years has been Upwork. If you're not familiar with Upwork, they really make scaling your business extremely easy for the right price. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in just about every category, whether it be marketing, development, design, writing, research, animation, you name it. There's a freelancer on Upwork that can help you accomplish any project that you may have for your business. And what's great is you enter into these freelance working relationships with all sorts of talented individuals. You can post a job on there, have people apply to it. And then all of that paperwork and all of the compliance and taxes and all that stuff is handled by Upwork. And it makes the process really easy without draining your wallet. And it helps you ultimately grow your business. So we have used Upwork over the years many a times for all sorts of different things, especially writing and research. We found and worked with tons of great writers out there. In fact, that's how I found Austin, my co-host on Lights Out, was on Upwork. He was writing for Planet Sleep at the time. And yeah, that's how we actually met, was through Upwork. And, now I have a great co-host and an even better writer, all thanks to Upwork. So Upwork is a great tool for anybody out there, whether you have a small business or you just, have some different types of work you want to do, maybe for your own freelancing gig. There's people on Upwork that are there to help you and ready to go at a moment's notice. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com. Upwork.com.
So Vanessa reached out to Johnathan, and very quickly after establishing contact with him, she spoke to him on the phone. And on the phone, Vanessa said that Johnathan seemed gentle, he seemed friendly, he seemed well-behaved. So they spoke about music, which Johnathan had been making since he was a child, and he didn't come on too strong. It seemed like, according to her, he was kind of like the boy next door, chill, but willing to help. And after speaking for a month, Vanessa and Johnathan, they decided to meet up at Central Station in The Hague. And that's where the Sperm was transferred. Handed off, to be clear, not transferred. But she gave him around $200 plus travel expenses, and he handed her the small bottle filled with his donation. Which I guess they're keeping it warm. They're just keeping it warm.
Yeah, I will have to say, like, a lot of these guys say that they have super sperm, but I'm like, damn, if you're, blasting into a cup and then carrying it around for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, very unsterile and is still working. Like, you might actually have super sperm.
Possibly. And it did. And they actually were keeping it warm. Like, I remember I can't remember which mother exactly it was, but one of them was like keeping it between her legs on the drive home. Heating it up with their hands and everything, trying to, keep it alive. Sperm is stronger than you think, I guess. But then 9 months later, Vanessa contacted Johnathan to tell him that she had just given birth to her first baby girl, which of course is a miracle. And her not being able to conceive on her own for whatever reasons, being single, very happy for her that she was able to have her daughter. I'm sure she has zero regrets, but she didn't know what we all know now about Johnathan. And Johnathan at the time, he congratulated her. He seemed excited still, even though he had already donated 8. He already had 8 sperm donations by this point, but he said he would be happy to have this new baby in his life. And the two of them remained in regular contact. Well, him and Vanessa.
And then later in 2017, Vanessa decided that she wanted to have another child. She once again reached out to Johnathan, paid for his expenses, and then received another bottle of his sperm. Then 9 months later after inseminating.
Inseminating.
She gave birth to a boy. And now Vanessa wanted to go through Johnathan for a second child anyway so that they could be full siblings. However, during that year, she had connected with another parent who had used Johnathan through Facebook. And this person told Vanessa that a 2017 investigation by the Dutch Ministry of Health, Welfare, and Sport tallied Jonathan's actual number of children at 102. That number was just through official fertility clinics and does not include all of those independent samples that he had donated through websites like Desire for a Child. So imagine getting that news. You hear 8, and then all of a sudden it's 102, and you're like, what?
Shit. Big difference.
What else is this guy lying about? I think the lying is the thing. It's like...
For something so intimate.
Yes, absolutely. To know that your child, now 2 of your children, potentially have 100 plus half siblings out there.
Oh, I'd be infuriated. I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
horrible.
It's a huge deal. She actually called Johnathan and confronted him about his fertility fraud. And Johnathan admitted to Vanessa that he had produced at least 175 children. And he even said that there might be more.
He's like, whoops, sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. And at this point, this was actually a rare moment where Johnathan was at least being a little bit honest to the women he had donated sperm to. When others confronted him, he lied and said he had only donated below the legal limit, which he's obviously doing that to keep doing what he's doing and not get reported because he knows what he's doing is wrong, is breaking the rules here. Johnathan told Vanessa, quote, "I'm just helping women make their biggest wishes come true."
Okay.
I'm like Walt Disney. I'm like Mickey Mouse over here, okay? To which she said, "You're not helping anymore. How do I tell my kids that they could possibly have 300 siblings?"
Yeah, that's the thing. There's plenty of people like you willing to donate. So you're not some rare commodity.
Because obviously, just having to explain to your kids how many half siblings they have is going to be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, because how do you even break that in? How do you start to explain all of that? That opens so many different doors that you don't want to quite go down yet as a parent. But it's like at some age, for their own safety, you have to start explaining to them to some degree. I don't know. I don't even know how to possibly approach something like this. That conversation would be wild.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's that part of it. There's obviously that's a whole problem in itself. But then there's the accidental incest issues and the genetic attraction between half siblings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why they have to have these conversations.
Right.
It's important. They have to be discussed.
They have to know that
as soon
you
as
might
possible.
run into a half sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially in a country like the Netherlands, it's not that big of a country. If Johnathan has 175 children there in a relatively small country, there's multiple children living in the same town, there's probably good chances they're going to cross paths at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? They could
And
end
then
up
think
dating.
about grandchildren.
Yeah, then grandchildren. So you could have 175 kids and in 10, 20, 30, 50 years could turn into thousands of half siblings all living in the same country.
Yep.
Which obviously serious issues of accidental incest come up there.
Which is, again, why we were saying so strongly that countries should be regulating this. Government should be at least keeping track and setting some type of standard, because this is a very dangerous issue.
At least connecting the sperm banks together in some database needs to be made.
Yeah, right?
There needs to be let's get AI on this issue. I bet AI would fix this real quick.
No, instead we're quite literally freeballing it. So that's great. And actually, the first child that was born from sperm donation and IVF was pretty recent, only in 1978. And since then, sperm donation and fertility clinics have become extremely popular, which is great that so many people have more access to it. But with an influx of private donors and tons of women hoping to conceive, the numbers are pretty high. However, since the industry is so new and more or less follows the same anonymous rules based on other medical donations, sperm donation and IVF are highly unregulated. And some states have patchwork laws that address these potential issues, but the problem remains that these laws are often unenforceable. And this is because the donation system through official clinics often relies on only the donor's word. Big problem. And of course, there's the complete lawlessness of independent donations where, you can just set that shit up whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're doing it on Facebook.
Obviously, there is no way to control that.
Yeah. No.
Facebook.
Unless you
Sperm book.
There you go.
Could be a new business. That's my
Well, all these
idea.
sperm donors create their own little private groups on Facebook. So they have all their little communities. So people go on Facebook searching for sperm donors and they find these little Facebook groups that they have to be invited into, and then they start chatting that way.
Like super sperm bros.
Yeah. Yeah, super sperm bro.
Yeah, that's probably...
There's probably a group there. I'm going to find it right now.
No, dude, that's probably on POR Cornhub.
Probably.
Super that's a play
That sounds
on
like something that would be
Mario
there.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So-
sure that is on Cornhub.
Now, Germany actually has the harshest laws, which limit sperm donors to 15 children regardless of family size. That's very reasonable. But England limits donors to 10 families, but they can have unlimited children within those 10 families. And then in the Netherlands, where Johnathan was primarily operating, the law prohibited anonymous donations, limited donors to 25 children, and stopped them from donating at more than one clinic. However, this was not actually enforced clearly, and Johnathan maintained his privacy in the media and donated to many more clinics. Plus, countries like the United States have no federally enforced laws. Of course we don't. And a few states have individual laws, but for the most part, clinics just take a recommendation that a donor should be limited to 25 children per population of 800,000. And the regulations for donations across international borders are completely non-existent. You can just go all over the world, spread it all out. At global clinics like Cryos International, the world's largest sperm donation, which Johnathan, of course, frequently used, donors are only asked if they've donated anywhere else, and it's up to that donor to just tell the truth, which many of them aren't. And of course, cheaper private donations have little to no regulations worldwide. One sperm donor, only known by the name Lewis, was estimated to have had 200 children in the Netherlands alone. That might be Louis. I'm not completely sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Lewis in this case.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's not their real name, so we don't.
I thought maybe like Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. I don't know.
Oh, I like that. You're good at that.
That's the one French thing I got.
And a nationally known fertility specialist, John Carbot, had secretly fathered 68 children with women who received donations at his own clinic in Rotterdam. That's awesome.
I was just going to say, too, one of the other big reasons I think for going with a freelancing sperm donor as opposed to going through the sperm banks is the access to the donor's identity, beforehand, and sort of being able to vet out your donor is kind of the idea behind it, having a relationship with them, actually get to know them. Because at a lot of these banks, if they give you any sort of details on the donor, it's going to be maybe hair color, eye color, basic appearance type details. Maybe they give you a little bit more. But a lot of them, the Cryo International, they give zero. They're all anonymous donations. So there's no way to know at all. And at other banks,
Really?
the child can find out the identity of the donor at age 18. And so like the parents don't have really any control over like who the donor is, you know what I mean? And as a parent ourselves, I feel like that'd probably be something I know me personally. I would want, if I had to go down this route, I would want to know the donor's identity
Who you're procreating with.
before we go through this process, right?
Mhm.
So
It's like when you're making a baby with someone that you are, romantically
Right,
involved in,
right.
or have just chosen to, you know who they are, and
so on
you
top
want
of
that same luxury.
yeah, because I mean you want the best for your child, and
Mhm.
so you want to make sure that who you're procreating with.
Well, you can at
is-
least trust them too,
Yeah, well, you could trust but I mean, if you wanted more control over the process,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of control in the process with a lot of sperm banks. Although a lot of that is changing. It seems like one of the big things that's really kind of changing a lot of the rules around identity, releasing donors' identities at sperm banks is 23andMe. Because technically, even if you didn't know the donor's identity, through 23andMe
Now
and
you can.
genealogy,
in retrospect.
somebody could figure out your identity through genetic,
Yeah, very good chance they would be
genealogy.
able to, because even if you haven't taken 23andMe or whatever,
Right.
A relative of yours could have, and your information's out there.
So there's a lot of sperm banks out there that are starting to change their rules around donor identities, which is kind of interesting. Because I think that's maybe one of the big reasons, couple that with obviously the cost, right? The cost can be expensive.
Now back to Lewis and the 68 children that he fathered. Some of those half-siblings born from his donations have found numerous siblings on Tinder. Nightmare. One named Jordy Wilkins matched with 4 of his half-siblings through the app. What are the chances of that?
Well, and that's I think that's the case here. Like with Johnathan, obviously he's, like we said, spreading his seed everywhere. But with a lot of these dudes, especially the like actual cases of fertility fraud where it's doctors at fertility clinics who are just supplying with their own shit.
Yeah.
A lot of their children are going to be in the same area.
That's a good point.
So it's just like
more dense.
Right, it's just dense. They're just filled with little Lewises.
That is so crazy. Yeah, this guy said he swiped on his sister, and then she swiped right on him at the same time. Oh, and obviously they were unaware of their relation prior to matching on the app.
Remember we covered that, Kendall, in the sesh?
Covered what?
These people were married. They ended up being like brother and sister. They didn't find out till way later. And then they were like, well, we're going to stay together. Or was it cousins?
I vaguely remember something like that.
They were closely related, though.
Why don't you try to
And they didn't find out until way later. And like after they even had kids, I think. And then they were like,
Yes.
we're not going to get divorced.
Because when you meet someone, you don't think, oh, I need to make sure you're not my sibling.
Yeah.
It's not like we ever checked our DNA to make sure we weren't related before we had kids. Like, how would you know? And then do you split because of that?
Right.
I don't judge them.
It's like what's done is done.
Right. Yeah. Right. At that point. Yeah, they didn't know. Sucks. I mean,
It was
that
these
they
people.
had kids.
Selena and Joseph Quinones.
The face
Quinones?
looks familiar.
What are they?
They were cousins.
Yeah. Decade in their marriage revealed how their children reacted when they told them.
Wait, but did they know? Maybe it wasn't them then?
I don't think so. Life was going great for them. Happily married couple from Colorado, having 3 children. It was around this time that Selena, now 37, decided to take a DNA test to find out more about her ancestry after wondering why the skin pigmentation for her kids was different. After sending off the swabs to biotech company MyHeritage, the results left them in complete shock.
Yeah.
Shock. Selena and Joseph were related.
Yep.
And were they brother and sister?
They were cousins.
They were cousins.
Yeah, brother and sister wouldn't make sense. They'd probably know about that.
Oh, maybe not, actually.
Well, actually, in this case, yeah,
Yeah,
it was
maybe
sperm
not at
donor
all.
situation. Yeah. Wow.
The couple stuck it out and remained loved. It says loved up to this day, but remain in love to this day. 17 years into their marriage.
Yeah.
Well, then there's the whole conversation that we'll get into about, attraction between siblings, natural attraction. We're getting into weird territory today, ladies and gentlemen.
In the spirit of today's episode, sexual health is very important to all, and especially for myself as, a father and, hoping to have more kids. I got to make sure my sexual health, my reproductive health, and everything about my body is healthy. And Function has been an absolute game changer, okay? I'm a big Function fan now because I got the opportunity to try the Function Health process, and I've been amazed at the information I've gotten from just a couple blood tests. And it really is groundbreaking information I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. We're talking about 160 plus biomarkers. So the Function Health process is very, very simple. Once you get signed up, you basically schedule 2 blood tests that you go and do locally. They do it all for you. It's all paid through your membership. You just show up, you give blood, and then in a matter of weeks, you start seeing results pop up in your Function dashboard, and you start getting some really great information across all types of categories, including we're talking about environmental toxins, immune regulation, your liver, metabolic, pancreas, thyroid, stress and aging, nutrients, male health, of course. Very important stuff. You can see where your where your biomarkers in male health kind of stack up. Are they in range? Are they out of range? And then they give you, suggestions on how to improve it. It's really cool stuff. And one of the coolest things I think you get on here that you won't get anywhere else is your biological age, which for myself, it said my biological age is 9.2 years younger than my calendar age. And was very happy to see that I'm aging slower than the calendar's aging me, I guess, which makes me feel good. And it encourages me to keep up a healthy lifestyle and to try to take care of myself, give myself lots of rest, exercise, nutrients, all that good stuff. Keep that sexual health high. Got to, right? So Function Health, highly recommend it. You should try it today. Male or female, whoever you are, it works for everybody. It's really good stuff. So learn more and join using our link. You can visit www.functionhealth.com/milehigher today. That's www.functionhealth.com/milehigher.
But along the children of super donors like Johnathan and others, this can not only be traumatic, linking up with your sibling on Tinder. Can't even imagine. But it's also dangerous and can lead to accidental incest between half siblings.
Yeah, this was a term I had never heard before, but it's actually known as the Luke and Leia complex.
Yeah, yep.
So Luke and Leia from Star Wars, of course.
Wait, they're siblings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't know it.
I knew that,
They didn't
dude.
know it.
I've barely seen, I think I saw like 1 or 2 in the
Mhm.
movies.
Didn't recall. It's kind of creepy.
Anakin, Padme,
Mm-hmm.
their parents.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
guys know.
I don't know who
They
Padme
were
is, but I'm guessing it's the mother.
Padme Amidala?
Padme Amidala, she's the mama.
She's the mama.
Yes.
Padme Amamama.
Mama.
And of course, Anakin Skywalker, right? So
Mhm.
they didn't know that. They were separated.
Okay.
But in the movie, there's like a couple weird, there's some sexual tension going on. Like they're kind of attracted to each other. But then they find out that they're, siblings. And they're like, oh, well, okay. And then that immediately dissipates.
Do you think when they wrote Star Wars, they considered this?
No, so I know this. I know that they
No.
just George Lucas changed they were not supposed to be siblings in Episode 4, which is why they kissed. And then later on, he decided, well, that could be interesting. And then so
George, that's a little creepy, George.
George.
What
on topic, do you guys in the Mos Eisley Cantina? I know Tom's gonna like this fun fact. In the Mos Eisley Cantina, there's that jazz band playing. Do you know what George Lucas's official name for that genre of music is?
No, what is it?
Jizz.
No.
Not even.
Not jazz, it's jizz.
It's jizz. I'm not even lying.
So it's like kind of like jittery jazz.
It's jittery jazz.
Fuck yeah. I like that.
It's I know.
New genre. The jizz genre.
George, get your mind out of the gutter.
No, I'm
man.
like sus as hell of George now. This dude was
George's
like
jizz
made
genre.
them. He literally
Genre.
was like, oh wait, they kissed and now they should be related.
Or does that mean he's a good writer and he's writing interesting material that we're still talking about years,
Yeah.
decades later?
Right. It's all fictional, so.
And not in his mind.
He believes it's all real.
Whoa.
No, he's
This
like
shit
really
happened, man.
fantasizing. George is giving me creeper vibes.
Ooh.
Well, the fact that it's now a term actually used for
That's what I'm saying.
half siblings who are unaware of each other they were, confuse the genetic relations with romantic feelings or even sexual attraction to one another.
It's just like a natural thing that can happen.
Yeah, right. When you come across somebody,
when you don't already know that they're off limits, when they're your sibling.
I don't know if this is kind of the same thing, but it's like that saying of you're attracted to your mother or your father, or somebody like your mom or your dad.
Yeah, people do say that.
And I think that look for extends like not just like it's like mentally, emotionally, but also like physically in a way.
Well, I mean, I
think that's kind of a thing, right?
In one of the pamphlets I was reading that was explaining genetic sexual attraction, GSA, that's the other term for it. They were saying one of the things is that the strong resemblance between siblings is potentially one of those attractive features to them when they don't know that they're related. But that strong resemblance to themselves or their parents, like that will get them interested in one another initially. Yeah. But then, there's also this more or less like unquantifiable, just like literally like the blood relation.
It's just a human connection.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
It's kind of makes you think for a moment about everybody that you're attracted to in life. Who do they resemble?
Or they don't resemble anyone and it doesn't even actually matter.
Let's not even talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting weird.
I'm getting freaked out a little bit.
All right. Well, here's a freaky story for you. In January of 2020, Victoria Hill learned that the doctor who had helped her mother conceive was also her father. And he had been using his sperm for numerous donations within the area.
I feel so bad for her.
That's horrible.
That's so fucked.
Then, in May of 2023, Victoria attended her high school reunion and reconnected with her ex-boyfriend, who had just learned that he and his twin brother had been conceived through IVF and were born exactly 1 month after Victoria in the same hospital. And when they learned that the boyfriend's mother had also used the same doctor, it was quickly revealed that Victoria's high school boyfriend and his twin brother were her half-siblings, and the two had been intimate in the past. So there you go. While the doctor in Vanessa's case has committed fertility fraud, these other super donors who are very flagrant and very out there about their donations pose similar risks if they are not completely honest with the mothers that they provide sperm to, which leads us to Lord of the Donors, Mr. Adam Hooper.
So while Johnathan may have been one of the most famous serial sperm donors, he was a member of a larger group of men who are insistent that they are providing a public service to women everywhere by fathering as many children as possible. And among their ranks was Adam Hooper, who in 2022 had children in Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Sweden. And in July of that year, he kicked off a 2-month tour, baby, across New Zealand called The Lord of the Donors, a journey to Middle Earth, in which he was hoping to father as many children as he possibly could. Ugh. And he said, I'm heading down to Hobbiton, and then I'm making my way south to Wellington, and then going down to the South Island. Obviously, I'm not trying to overpopulate a specific area. Duh. Now, Adam had previously founded Sperm Donation World, an international organization that helped people connect with independent donors worldwide. And of course, most of these men making the donation didn't require much cost for their sperm, only charging for travel expenses and shipping costs, and many offering to provide the donation through the natural way, of course. Let's take a listen to Mr. Adam. A lot of them have blue eyes, too.
Yeah, that leads me to something I'm not going to say either. But
yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think a lot of people out there already having those thoughts, too. But also, I think there's part of them that think they're special because they like have the rare eye color and they're like,
Upon this, and I guess I'm in a position now to have a unique change in this world for positive effect. And why not? You only live life once. Might as well do something interesting with it.
Well, explain to us, what exactly are you doing? Are you giving out cups of sperm to whoever wants them?
Well, look, I'd be a hypocrite to expect other donors to do that if I didn't do it. But basically, I'm on here today to inspire other people to become donors. It's a taboo subject. I'm quite selective about it. I've got a massive community of 15,000 Sperm Donation Australia.
Video. Can you help us understand, though, how you've become involved in this? Because I know that there are systems, there are protocols in Australia. There's a fair amount of regulation. What's the problem with that as you see it?
It's a lot of psychological trauma for the donor conceived people and for the men who donate. Also, you don't pick your husband and wife off a piece of paper. You actually go and meet them.
Adam, because your system isn't regulated, what happens if something goes wrong or if someone decides they're not happy with that arrangement anymore?
Well, it's a good question, but I mean, history tells its story, and that we got started in 2015. It's 2022, and we're still waiting for a headlines horror story to emerge. Every day the family court system is full of court cases with people splitting up that have rushed into relationships or had children. So, this way has proven to be quite a logical and safer choice for people out there to consider.
Adam, looking at your website, you sell medical equipment, and watching your videos on YouTube, it kind of feels like you are giving medical advice. Do you have a background in that? Are you a doctor? Do you have any training in that area?
Look, we've got many doctors that join the group and give me that advice and pass it on, so I listen to them. And that, but I don't try and give medical advice. At the end of the day, I say to people, go out and get a doctor's opinion. And a lot of doctors are referring people to Sperm Donation Australia, so it can't be that bad.
Adam, I'm so fascinated by what you're doing and the intention behind it. I've been myself down the path of exploring becoming a donor, but when I've gone down those official and formal paths, I can see why it might be a bit prohibitive for some, perhaps intimidating as well. There's a huge amount of uncertainty. What strikes me, though, is that what you're doing is actually taking on a huge amount of responsibility for lots of people. And I'm wondering whether you're nervous about that.
No, I love it, guys. Look, it's
I love it.
I've created so many lives, not directly from my sperm, but from like many hundreds of donors all around Australia. We've had thousands of children born this way now. So, every year that it keeps going just reassures that what I've been doing and what I've set up is working.
I get that, but I suppose when I think about it in an individual circumstance. You think through all the possible things that could go wrong. And just in one case, that can be quite overwhelming. But you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of instances of that. And as one individual trying to create a new system, that strikes me as a pretty big thing to take on.
Well, look, I think being a donor is a great thing. But look, I looked in to go to a clinic first off. That was the first protocol for me to go. Like anyone else, you think a clinic's the option. I went to go there. I can't protect my children from walking past people that are related to them in the street if I donate at a clinic. I have no say that the person that I help might be a good person and raise them. And, will they come back to me when they're 18 and say I've been brutally assaulted or, domestic violence by my parents because I had no idea who I was helping. So this is real peace of mind for, and this is why a lot of men now are becoming donors online rather than doing it via clinic.
But so if that's the case, does that then mean if one of the children you'd fathered were to end up in a situation where there might be domestic violence or some kind of abuse, that you would be wanting to step in and take them out of that? Is that sort of what you're getting at there?
Oh, look, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I don't think it'd get to that. Obviously I've been donating for 7 years now, and the people that I've had, I don't have one person that I regret donating to. I screen people, I meet people for coffee, I get to see what their family network is, I get to see how they interact with people on social media. I get a good feel of who they are as a person.
I just want to say his fit was with the eyebrow piercing and the murdered out Jordan hat. That shit was hard.
He had a Billabong shirt on.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy's got some YouTube videos too, which maybe we'll overlay some, but it's like
interesting.
He has a video on how to use. He sells these artificial insemination kits on his website that he's like designed, I think, and he has like a how to use it. But it's like blurry as hell. Like you can barely make out like what's going on in the video. And
very profesh. But he's got doctors in the Facebook group, so he's good. So let's talk about some other donors in this group, like fellow donor Kyle Gordy, who's got 100 children. And he was detained en route to New Zealand for the Lord of the Donors tour. Wasn't working out so well. He was subsequently deported back to the United States. Now, Adam just thought the whole situation was a joke and said, someone has probably complained, saying, hey, this person is coming to impregnate the whole of New Zealand. So immigration probably was waiting for him. Yeah. They were trying to get me out as well, but I was a bit smarter in telling people different dates that I was flying over. Kyle is, I guess, not as naturally intelligent. That's awesome.
I also think it's funny that he was in that interview, he's talking about like, yeah, this way I can really vet people, get to know them. Whereas in this quote, he's like, yeah, I got away with it because I just lie.
Yeah, exactly.
I just tell people different dates.
Yeah.
And nobody actually knows when I'm showing up.
And this guy is a dumb fuck. So that's his bad. Now, while Adam has maintained that members of his organization have never spread STIs or led to cases of genetic sexual attraction, the fact that he even mentioned these potential issues brings up the fact that his organization and most independent donors do nothing to avoid this. Rob Albin, who went by the name Joe Donor, has fathered nearly 200 children by the time that he was interviewed by 60 Minutes Australia. And Joe told prospective mothers that he had received a clear STD and STI test before providing the sample, even though he hadn't been tested in years. And Joe would always tell his recipients that receiving the donation through sex was the most effective way, of course, regardless of their individual sexuality.
This is just something I noticed while learning about the Sperm Bros, is that a lot of them, Ari, Joe, a lot of them have their own stories about like, yeah, the first time I got to have sex with a lesbian. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know if that's something to brag about because you basically manipulated them and told them, no, this is the best way. I promise you, this is the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be the most effective.
Right.
And why do you even have to make note of that? It's not like it's really that much different. I mean, I guess I wouldn't know, but
I mean,
No, I think to him it's like a challenge.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Because again, I mean, we'll get into this a little bit more, but a lot of this seems to be competitive between these super sperm donors, and I think part of that is the sex, like not just the children, which is the number one competition, but like how many non-straight women have you been with?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
how many women in total, and how many types
Right.
of women in their eyes. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about a more flagrant case, such as Ari Nagel.
Ari Nagel. He looks like Jerry Seinfeld a lot.
Kyle is from the U.S. Adam Hooper's from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Johnathan's from Netherlands.
Yep.
Ari's also from the U.S.
Yes,
Just to make sure that's very clear. But Ari, he just retired from sperm donations this year on Father's Day after providing donations that led to 176 children. This photo of him. Best dad ever.
I know. I like the
Super
hat.
dad.
Super dad.
That's great. Ari's been nicknamed the Sperminator. How about that? What a name.
So sick.
The Sperminator. But Ari was a college mathematics professor who never turned down an interview, was filmed as he provided donations in public restrooms. In one clip, he provided a donation to 2 women while at a birthday party for another one of his children. And these 2 women split that sample between them using a syringe and vaginal cup. Here's a clip.
Actually, we had the whole bathroom to ourselves. I could have done it here and looked in the mirror, you know, right?
Oh, the man of the hour.
Okay.
All right,
There you go.
It's a math ninja shirt.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Just gave him the sample.
My intention was to slip away for 5 minutes, get it over, and just get right back into the party.
But, okay.
Is that a kid's birthday
She's using
party?
the cup, and I'm using the syringe. It's a little bit harder for me because I have to lay down. Oh, this is so disgusting, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm choosing the bathroom as the quickest option. I wanted to just get it done so the sperm didn't die. And there's a lady looking at me.
Don't worry, I'm not looking at you. I'm just gonna throw my son so I can see my son.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it in. All right, I gotta get back in position because I feel it leaking.
How about that? The fact that they filmed this.
I know.
It's fucking there. I saw another interview with Ari where, again, I mean, you know, the case I'm empathetic to, but he flew to Poland because their same-sex couples were not allowed to raise children.
Right.
And so he flew to Poland to provide a sample to these 2 like lesbian women. And they were like very nervous, very excited. And the first thing he did was like, so you got a good bathroom I can jerk off in? You know, he's just got the
He's a math professor.
Yeah, exactly.
He's well, it's interesting too because he says he was celibate like all the years of giving these donations, that he only had sex when natural insemination was required. Outside of that, he did not have any sex, which for him, I'm like, kind of believable. But yeah, he's an interesting one because he seems very like amped up about it. He was very, very into this, but he said that he had to retire from sperminating because at the age of 50, he started dating a 22-year-old woman that he met at an art gallery. And he abstained from outside sex, outside of his career here, being a sperminator for 17 years.
Ew.
He said this of his girlfriend. This is kind of disturbing. She probably has daddy issues, so she wanted America's dad.
Ew, I hate.
Yeah, he says some weird shit about how Bill Cosby was America's dad, and now I'm going to take that spot from him.
Fuck?
Yeah.
You're going to take...
Yeah, it's very weird.
Oh, what an honor.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be America's new daddy.
Based on what?
Well, by literally being the father of every child in America.
Yeah.
I guess so. Ew, that's so sick.
If there's one product or service that we can't live without at this point, it's our Simply Safe home security system, because the rare occasion that I'm gone, Kendall needs the house to be secure, to be locked down, to have visibility.
Yes. I'm sure you have all experienced that feeling when you wake up at 3 a.m. or maybe you're just up late at night and it's dark out and you hear a strange noise or even just get a feeling that something's not right and you got to go check it out. But you don't always want to go and check it out. That's what I used to always do when I was a kid. That was my trick when my parents weren't home, is I would actually go outside and just stand there and like realize like, oh, it's pretty safe, which probably isn't a great trick for
You went outside the house? Wow.
Yeah, that would always calm me down. But you know what would have calmed me down even more is if I had Simply Safe back then.
As a kid.
Exactly. Now I just always feel simply safe because I can open my app anytime I want, even when I don't feel scared, and just see what's going on in my house, which really helps because I have 10 pets and a toddler and Josh also to keep track of. So I can just,
You
pull
just
up and
spy on
see what's
everybody
going
all
on.
the
Spy. It's a great tool for that too, but really it makes me feel safe. I feel like I can sleep better at night because I know that me and my family are safe.
And we sleep safer because we know that Simply Safe's live monitoring agents, they're on it, man.
They are.
They are ready to deter anybody from coming into your house at any time who's unwanted.
And they also have AI-powered cameras.
Yeah. So they're
Next
just, the technology is far and above all the other security companies out there.
And
Trust
so-
us, we know we've had nearly all of them. They all have paled in comparison to what Simply Safe's offering, especially for the price. The price of Simply Safe is unbeatable at just $1 a day for their monitoring plans. That's where they start. And they give you a 60-day money-back guarantee. They're just easy to set up, easy to use. You can control it from your phone. You can even install it yourself.
And most security systems take action only after someone breaks in, but that is just too late. Simply Safe's new Active Guard outdoor protection helps stop break-ins before they even happen. And if someone's lurking outside your property, agents are going to talk to them in real time, turn on spotlights, and call the police, which proactively deters crime before it even starts. And the best part about Simply Safe, as Josh was saying, and what makes it so much better than a lot of these other security companies, is that there are no contracts, there are no hidden fees, and it's also named the best home security system of 2025 by CNET. Over 4 million Americans trust Simply Safe, and you should too. So visit simplysafe.com/milehigher to claim 50% off a new system with a professional monitoring plan and get your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/milehigher. There's no safe like Simply Safe. God, to some people, life is really just a game.
Yep. How many kids can I have?
Yep.
It was so. I wish so bad we could play more like some of the interview of Kyle.
Yeah.
Gordy, because he says some funny shit at the end of it. They ask him like, so like, what's your plan? So he lives with his mom or his dad or something. So he had no bills or anything, and he just does this. And they're like, so what are your like future goals or plans or anything? And he's like, nah,
Keep doing this.
I'll just do this for as long as I feel like doing it. Just take it day by day. I was like, wow, all right, dude. This is an interesting thing that doesn't really come up with some of the other donors, but you have to wonder, at what point are you liable for somebody to come for child support payments, right? And this is interesting to think about because Ari is the only one that we know of the super donors that is actually paying women child support payments. He owes 9 women child support payments from his early donation days, which amounts to half of his yearly salary of $100,000.
Oh, you done fucked up.
So I did a little research on this because I was curious to see, that makes a lot of sense. Why isn't Johnathan on the hook?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like in a lot of countries, sperm donors are protected unless there's like evidence that they are planning to be a parent of this child. And obviously, if you donate to a sperm bank, you're protected in most countries, including the US as well. But these freelancers in the US, they can be held liable. So Kyle can 100% have women come after him for child support.
Of course.
But Kyle, he doesn't have anything to come after. He doesn't make any money. So like part of it is like they probably know that they can't like really make money doing this, because that money they'll just, once these women,
they can't make money doing it, and they can't make money while doing it.
Right, while doing it, because they know that they come after, they just lose all of it to child support payments.
So what the fuck is the point? What are you doing?
Right.
Dude?
So that's a whole other part of the motive eliminated now. So
it's so weird.
It is. Isn't it weird?
Also, the other weird thing with Ari, again, is like in that long New York Post documentary, is like he spends most of his off days not teaching, either giving sperm or going to birthday parties or hanging out with his kids.
Yeah.
So it actually does make sense that, with what you just said, Josh, like he does try to be present in as many of these kids' lives as possible, which makes him more liable. And in that documentary, one of his friends in his college professor office is like, "What? You're spending $50,000 on all these child support payments? Why do you think it's not going to happen again?"
Yeah,
and I guess it didn't. He didn't have a 10th one, but still, yeah, it is. It is like, what is the motive? And of course, we have our suspicions, but
God, it's just so weird. Because even then, I don't know. It's hard to even understand it.
Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like you are putting yourself,
there's no contracts involved, nothing,
in a horrible position. So that's the thing, though, is like, and what we don't know is maybe Kyle has like I highly doubt it, but maybe he has maybe he went to like LegalZoom and like had to make up an agreement for him. But even then, there's a good chance that agreement would not ever hold up in court.
Yeah. Well, God, this reminds me of, Janelle just stepped out, but we covered this story on the sesh recently on a shesh, about this woman. It went like viral on TikTok. This woman, Maria, and what was the dude's name? Janelle, do you remember him? What, the guy? They like arranged their own private sperm donation situation. Like she was basically, well, he like they had sex, but it was agreed upon that he was going to help her get pregnant. But he was way younger, and she was like, "But you won't have to do anything for it. No, nothing." But now they're in this giant legal battle. I think he went to jail recently. Like, it's the craziest story.
Yeah, but not because of that.
Yeah, other stuff. But they're like, it's Maria.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I forget his name too. I just remember the girl was Maria. But it was wild. Yeah, they didn't have any type of contract involved. Yeah. So she was able to, like, I don't know, fucked up. It's crazy. People just do it. Just be doing it.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit easier to freelance sperm donate in other countries.
Yeah.
The laws are a little bit different, but here in the US, you can absolutely be held liable, which is why, you see people like Kyle, not a lot going on, not a lot happening, and he's out there doing this. So it's pretty interesting. So one of the big differences between Johnathan and these other men, aka Kyle, Ari, is that they advertise how many children they have. And they almost like advertise themselves as being like Superman. I have super sperm. Whereas Johnathan kept that actual number hidden, which honestly makes it even that much crazier and devious.
Smarter,
right? Exactly. Like, smarter, right?
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of those dumb fucks think that a lot of women are going to be like, okay, yeah, I don't want you then if you've fathered that many children. Ew.
Yeah, there's also allegations with Johnathan that he scammed other women who believed they were receiving sperm from someone else even, which is pretty wild. But after Vanessa confronted Johnathan in 2017, she contacted the Dutch Donor Child Foundation and alerted them that he likely had even more children than he had revealed to her. They told Vanessa that they had already been made aware of Jonathan's antics and fraud, as several other mothers had already come to them with the exact same complaint. And after cross-referencing with donation clinics throughout the Netherlands, the foundation determined that Johnathan had fathered 102 children through 11 official clinics, in addition to at least 80 children created through independent donations. And following this discovery, the government ordered all Dutch sperm clinics to stop using Jonathan's donations. However, this, of course, didn't stop his independent donations, and it couldn't curb global organizations like Cryos from using his sperm in other countries. But meanwhile, Vanessa had also become friends with 2 other Dutch mothers who had used Johnathan as a donor. Vanessa and one of the other mothers worked in the same preschool, actually, and realized that their children were related after they commented on how similar they looked. Like, that's just wild. You're working together at the same preschool. You're like, oh, your kid looks a lot like my kid.
Yeah, I guess that thought would just more naturally come to you if,
Who was your donor? Johnathan? No way.
I know, isn't that fucking crazy? Yeah, in the one, the Man Who Had 1,000 Kids documentary, that part was, I was like, oh, I just cannot imagine what that would be like. And it wasn't the only one. And one of those mothers was worried that as their child grew older, they could become romantically involved with one another. Of course, that's a big concern. And they wouldn't have even realized it. She said, quote, "It's disgusting and I want it to stop. It's dangerous for the children. There are more brothers and sisters in Almere, which is the town she lived in, and they can fall in love. It's not good." Because, like I said in the documentary, there were a couple more cases that she stumbled across as she continued on in life, found few more of her children's siblings. Now, Dutch lawyer Tim Buter has represented several families in the case against fertility doctor Jan Carbat and was contacted by 12 mothers who had used Jonathan's sperm. And they asked if there was any legal action they could take. But at that time, Tim thought that no laws really applied since Johnathan was operating legally within such a gray zone. And Tim said it was stunning to hear something like this is going on. The children are victims in this case. Something has to be done to stop him. The only thing these women can do is go to the public and hope the world knows not to use this guy as a sperm donor. Which obviously that's a very complicated thing to do that probably just wouldn't work at all. And meanwhile, Joël de Boer, who was a volunteer and international contact person with the Dutch Donor Child Foundation, got to work trying to track all of Jonathan's children worldwide. And she discovered that Jonathan's donations likely began in 2007 and since then had been donating to various clinics worldwide and independent donations all over. And at the time, Johnathan was very public with where and how many donations he participated in, sharing his experiences on Facebook and YouTube. And in June of 2017, after he was banned from going through official clinics in the Netherlands, he posted about donating through a clinic in Ukraine.
Joël also discovered that through Jonathan's private donations, he advertised himself as a musical Viking donor.
Love that. The musical Viking donor.
And he used a ton of fake names with his photos, names like Lucas and Martine, although he denies all of this, of course. He says, I was always honest. I'm an honest man. Johnathan had to register his real name with local fertility clinics. International clinics like Cryos often use aliases or numbers to identify donors, and they have no limits regarding donation amount, although they claim to follow local laws wherever the sperm may be sent. But because international donors are truly anonymous, parents are often left to believe the donor's word if they choose to contact them. Still, there is no way to verify how many children Johnathan may have had internationally, because this guy travels constantly, even to this day. Just looking at his YouTube channel from a few weeks ago, he was in like 6 countries. He just hops from country to country to country. And you're like, huh? How's he doing this? Is it crypto? Is he a master crypto trader?
Is it crypto?
Or is he potentially out there? Potentially still donating.
This brings up another weird thing I saw while researching. Is there was this documentary I saw that was focused on women who flew to the Netherlands specifically to find sperm donations, because there's this conception of the Netherlands and that whole region of Europe as having, quote, Viking men. And so that makes sense that with Jonathan's jet setting around the world, of course, he is like the poster child for the Viking man.
Right. He's got that look. Yeah, that's a good theory, I think. But Joël was able to contact mothers in Australia, Italy, Serbia, Ukraine, Germany, Hungary, Poland, Switzerland, Romania, Denmark, Sweden, Mexico, and the U.S. Of course, there are other countries out there, potentially Jonathan's children, that simply can't be located. But in 2019, Cryos terminated its use of Jonathan's sperm after Joelle was able to confirm that Johnathan had donated to other international sperm clinics. Johnathan stated that there were no strict exclusivity agreements. Still, Peter Rieslev, the chief executive at Cryos, said that any donor that he worked with would be aware of the exclusivity clause. They have to read through it before they sign it. If they choose just to skip over it, that's their own prerogative. But it was estimated that when Johnathan was banned from Cryos, based on his official donation tendencies, he had at least 1,000 children around the world, with some estimates clocking up to 3,000. That is wild. And what's worse is that it was alleged that Jonathan's fertility fraud went further than just lying to clinics. It was discovered that the website Desire for a Child, where many mothers had received independent donations from Johnathan, could have been entirely run by him and maybe another guy named Leon. If you remember him from the very beginning. That ugly dude. We mentioned that the mothers that we're talking about potentially using as a donor, and they're like, no. While the website advertises, there's hundreds, it's like Craigslist for sperm donors, right? You can just go look at all these different ads for different donors.
Does Craigslist house sperm donors actually?
Let me fucking see.
Oh my God. If there was a website to have.
I want to see some of these listings.
I feel like that's probably against their terms of service.
I would assume, but I don't know, man. There's sketchy shit.
I found an article from 2014 called Why a Craigslist Sperm Donor Owes Child Support.
Oh,
shit.
It is.
It was allowed at some point. Unless they use like code words or something.
Interesting. Nothing on at least Denver Craigslist. eBay?
Ew, that's sick.
Can you imagine?
Depop, Grailed.
Yes, Grailed. Oh. Get some fresh kicks and some fresh sperm. Yeah, is there an online website to get sperm from? Like a
Shein.
marketplace. Oh my God.
Shein sperm.
It's called Hean.
Sorry, honey. Your daddy was from Hean.
So going back to Desire for a Child, the website that could have allegedly been run by Johnathan and Leon solely, this website advertised hundreds of potential donors, and it has been alleged that all the sperm came from either Johnathan or Leon, and that it was a competition allegedly between the two of them to see who could have the most kids.
I bet you anything that's what it was. And also, if Johnathan was to make a website, it would be called Desire for a Child. That just sounds like his vocabulary, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's providing such a desire for a child. I don't know.
Well, there's allegations that they may have even mixed their semen together.
Need a little smoothie.
A little.
Ew. Sorry, that was too much.
My God. So again, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Why are they doing this? What sick fantasy are they playing out here? It can't just be they're wholesome, good people trying to help moms out there.
Fuck no. If they really want to help the world, there's so many other ways they can help. You could do sperm donation a couple of times and move on. And
or if you really are like have this heart of gold, wouldn't you want to make this the most transparent, safe process? Like, wouldn't you be an open book?
Make sure this is a good experience for people.
Right.
Mm-hmm. For the children and the mothers.
Yeah.
And fathers too, families.
And especially if you knew about accidental incest and genetic sexual attraction, you think you would have taken steps to make sure that couldn't ever be a possibility and limit yourself.
Or maybe that's exactly why they're doing it. Maybe.
So a 2013 journal article by the Donor Sibling Registry listed 3 primary factors for the average donor: money, generosity, and the desire to pass along their DNA. Most sperm donations only pay about $100 a sample.
If anything.
If you get that, you're lucky. That's like a good day at the sperm.
Which I think is very fair. Almost too much, in my opinion. Because you definitely don't want people trying to make careers out of sperm donation.
I don't know. Like, if they truly actually legislated it to where it's like, we are only going to use your sperm, I almost said cum. We're only going to use your sperm like 10 times.
But then you said it anyway.
And sorry. We're only going to use it 10 times ever, but we'll pay you $1,000 a pop. Then I think it's okay.
I agree with you. If it was capped.
Right. But if you're just going there and popping shot for $100.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
True, especially because they're charging people at the clinic so much.
So much
it's
more.
Really fucked up.
Yeah.
I guess they are housing it and whatever, but still.
But then we're talking, about Kyle, Ari. These guys are not charging anything, especially for their private
they're not
services.
doing it for money.
Yeah.
They have other motives.
No, they're doing it because they want to spread love around and let families be families.
That's exactly why.
They just want to see moms happy with kids.
That's
And
definitely.
parents who just can't have kids for whatever reason. Maybe the dad can't have.
I think for some people that is a motive for doing it. And when you're doing it a reasonable amount of times, and you're just donating a handful of times, maybe father.
Right.
Yeah, there's
It's
nothing
like
wrong with
donating
that.
blood.
Or donating eggs or
Right.
plasma
Yes.
or anything else. Like a lot of people, or organs. People they're not doing that
Yeah,
for money.
Right.
There's a lot of people doing it for the right reasons. But when you get to numbers like these.
But when you're doing the hundreds and you're traveling around, you're meeting in hotel rooms
you're
and
like, let's do the natural way. And there's.
and you look
other
like Kyle. You
Yeah.
are. You're like, bro.
Like Johnathan and Ari are kind of like outliers in
Yes.
that they're kind of good looking guys. I mean, most of these dudes, sorry, maybe you're attracted to them, but they're a little chopped. They're a little chopped. They're a little busted.
Little chopped. I like chopped. I've never heard that before.
Well, and like Ari's a college mathematics professor. Johnathan, crypto trader. I mean, who knows
We
really
don't know.
what his educational background is, but then there's Kyle. Kyle's and it's funny because Kyle's like, yeah, I think these women want me because my family history is really good. I come from a family of lawyers and doctors. I'm like,
but I am not
up,
continuing that.
I'm like, but I'm not.
I'm going to just have child support payments for the rest of my life and live in my parents' basement.
This guy,
and donate sperm
I'm like,
and try to make as many babies
because
as possible.
in this New York Post, or no, it's a Vice video, of course. Very, very interesting though. In the Vice films an encounter with this woman. This young woman comes to this hotel room that Kyle's like in to go through the process here. And it's a natural insemination process, of course.
She's got her legs
and
up on the
they
wall.
film it, and just Kyle's the way he's like, I'm handling this professionally. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, you're not, dude. And she's like, you're making this awkward. And it's like this whole awkward thing. And it's clearly this dude's like getting psyched up to have sex. And it's just like, I really question his true motives behind this. And then he outwardly says, oh, I love the travel. I love to be able to travel around. And it could just be a way for some of these guys to kind of see the world and have sex,
It seems like that could be like
kind
part
of a
of
convenient
Jonathan's
thing.
motive, especially because
Totally.
he has like a travel channel, essentially.
Yeah, he's in a different country all the time.
A lot
that
of these
costs
people
money.
are paying for travel expenses too.
Right.
But let's get more into Johnathan. What are his reasons, since he's the one who's allegedly fathered 1,000 kids? Obviously he certainly loves the attention. He has advertised that he'll donate the natural way. I think he enjoys that. But he also always cites his large family as a reason for having this desire to have so many kids. And some of the children's mothers have theorized that maybe he was neglected or like had feelings of neglect or not getting enough attention in such a big family. But he's always denied this claim, that that's not his reasoning. But on Jonathan's Cryo's donor profile, he said that he previously worked as a high school social science teacher. Social science?
It's like social studies.
Okay, yeah.
It's just Netherlands. They got weird stuff.
Got it. Okay. And then he was also, quote, working with cryptocurrency in a development and trading company. It sounds really promising and legitimate. However, it's unclear if his crypto dealings extended past his YouTube tip videos.
Probably
that might
promoting
have
that.
been the extent of it.
It's probably promoting that new meme coin, Sperm coin.
Sperm coin?
Bro, cum coin?
Cum coin? Yeah.
Another excuse to
I'm
say
sorry.
that word.
I was trying to stay away from that word.
I know. That is a nasty word.
Cream coin.
Ew, Jan, no. Not you too. Okay. So, in an email, Johnathan said, I know people are quickly judging me or thinking that I donate for narcissistic reasons. We are judging you, and I think that is a huge part of it. I am quite down-to-earth person about myself, and I don't think too highly about myself. Really? But But what motivates me as a donor is just to do something really big with just a little bit of help. The appreciation of the recipients and the warm feelings and memories I share with the children and the recipients. That's what it all is about for him, the warm feelings and the memories. Okay, Johnathan. He speaks with such confidence when he lies. He's just bullshitting, and he's just and that's how he gets away. Like, you watch a lot of interviews with him. He was on an Australian show this morning, I think it's what it's called, and then that Fox interview too, where they just you can tell, are just kind of wooed by him. He's very charming.
It's also interesting to me that if that were the case, he was really doing this for like the betterment of humanity and to have these kids and influence them. That wouldn't some of his content be like with his kids? Wouldn't he have these great relationships with their moms that they'd want him around, and there'd be pictures and video?
And you would have stopped if you had known that any of your kids would face harmful situations if you have too many. And if you're so into warm feelings and memories, there are plenty other ways that you can give back in this world to get warm feelings and memories. This is not what this is about at all. You're so full of shit. And those feelings that he's talking about were not shared with many of the recipients, okay? An Australian mother who is part of Moms on a Mission, which is a group of 50 mothers who are trying to get Johnathan to fucking stop donating, said, "I can't imagine what our son is going to think when he finds out." Many others believe that Johnathan and other serial donors are engaged in a competition to have the most children, and I think that is a huge part of it. I think it's just a numbers game, really, for them. Whether or not they're competing against each other, or they're just trying to see how many kids can I father, or other worse reasons. But thankfully, a civil suit was launched against Johnathan at the International Court in The Hague to get him to stop donating, thankfully. They really covered that in detail in the documentary in part 3. If you want to hear more about that, it was kind of an interesting process how they were able to do that. However, legal meetings had to be pushed back because Johnathan, of course, kept traveling. He's got a YouTube channel to uphold. He was ordered to stop donating until the trial, but he may not have been following that order because, of course, he wasn't, allegedly. Johnathan had posted a YouTube video in Kenya, and Moms on a Mission subsequently found a Facebook group of serial donors based in Kenya, including Kyle Gordy and Joe Donor. And one of the members said that their goal was, and this is disturbing, their goal was to bleach Africa.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that shows you a lot of hidden motive as well, I think, for a lot of these guys. I mean, they all look similar in some ways, right? Now, one of the other members was anonymous and went by the name the Lion of Mombasa. While it was never confirmed to be Johnathan, he always identified as a lion due to his hair, because of course he did. And he used usernames that included the Lion of Blank on other anonymous websites. However, after the trial officially commenced in April of 2023, Johnathan finally did admit that he officially had 550 children, though, again, estimates are much higher. And in my opinion, I think it's much closer to 1,000, if not over, allegedly. But Johnathan was ordered to never donate sperm again, or else he would face a €100,000 penalty for every donation. Although, do you guys think he's actually stopped?
Here's the thing is, like, even though, like, this is like an international court ruling, like, he's not supposed to do this shit anywhere in the world.
Right.
How are they going to enforce that?
How do they enforce that? Like, yeah, exactly. Unless, he just keeps lying to these women. But again, there, as we've seen with the other serial donors, is that there are women out there who see the men with these high children counts as a good thing, because they're like, it's so tough for me to get pregnant, and they have this crazy sperm.
It works.
Right. It works with him. So
yeah, I think Jonathan's the type of guy who would like to, he's so confident that there's nothing wrong with what he's doing and he's helping people, that he'd like to just continue doing this secretly in spite for as long as he can.
Right.
But yeah, how are they going to enforce it and prove it?
Come out and say how you're paying for your travel to all these countries.
Yeah.
He's literally in a different country every week.
Yeah.
And he's always in these beautiful places, beautiful backdrops.
Mm-hmm. But he's a crypto, bro.
Maybe, I mean, I could be wrong. Johnathan, you could be insane at the crypto game. Some of his other videos, like from like 8 years ago, are like should you invest in silver over gold?
Oh, he's like
he has
crypto before.
Yeah, he's got some other videos out there of like that are pretty funny.
Buy gold bars.
And it's interesting how much he hates Brian Johnson too.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the deal with that? I didn't have time to explore that.
I really don't know. I mean, he just talks about like how all of his stuff is a fraud. Like, I think he's trying to rebrand as more of a lifestyle guy. And so he's going after, he wants to be the more granola style, traditional.
For sure.
And so he's looking at Brian Johnson's high tech olive oil shit. Like, you know. So I think I think he just sees Brian as like a popular viral target. And if you include that in the title, it might help that video do better.
Okay. That makes
Although
sense.
Johnathan has a video that's titled Eating Raw Pig Brains. What are the benefits?
Oh, so wait, which Brian Johnson are we talking about? Liver King Brian Johnson or Health Nut Brian Johnson?
Health Nut.
Nut.
I guess they're both health nuts.
Yeah, and they're both rich.
No, Johnathan has a lot of
Blueprint.
Blueprint Brian. But yeah, Johnathan has a ton of like raw eating. Like I'm saying, he's going for this like the Viking style.
It's kind of Liver King.
So he's probably like a Liver King fan. He can't be vegan. He's eating pig brains.
He's eating raw now. I'm telling you.
Brian Johnson.
No. We're talking. This is.
Okay.
Wait, are you saying Liver King's vegan? You know?
No.
Who's vegan?
No.
Who's
Brian
vegan?
Johnson.
Brian Johnson's vegan.
Blueprint Brian.
Blueprint Brian's.
We got Blueprint Brian, Pig Brain Brian.
Right. I was getting my Brian's confused. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Johnathan in this video is really talking about how pig brain, and he's like, my hair, pig brain. I eat the pig brain and it makes my hair.
Bro.
Oh, makes it. That's how he gets the hair?
I get the mane from the brain.
Damn, maybe I need to eat some fucking pig brain.
Pig brain to the mane.
Okay.
Well, Johnathan,
I kind of want to explore his YouTube channel. Can we take a look?
He wasn't happy about that documentary. He was not happy. He has a 3-part video series on his channel reviewing it. It's pretty entertaining, honestly.
It was so funny too. In that Australian interview, they were like, "Are you upset that you didn't participate in it now that it's done so well and you could have, cleared your name?" He was like, "Fuck no, because now I can put it all on my YouTube channel and people can come there to hear from me."
Because his top viewed video is part 1 reviewing the Netflix documentary. So it gave him a boost of views, but otherwise he gets under 1,000 views.
I bet
per
he made
video.
sure his hair looked real good for that episode.
Yeah. But he's embroiled in another civil suit after the parents of one of his children alleged that he was using his YouTube channel to attempt to influence his children worldwide. Which is pretty wild because, the titles are just crazy. If you want to just sift through it real quick.
He's going to speak to them in the masses through YouTube.
Well, it's like the topics that he's talking about, he's trying to influence all levels of it. Like he's trying to go deep on everything, and he's providing his perspective on all sorts of topics: education, investing, health, enemies, spirituality, whatever it may be. He's got a video for it at this point.
Here, bring up his channel. I just want to take a peek, see.
And he actually won that civil suit case, by the way, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, this is what he's doing in his free time. He's traveling around, making content. Apparently that's what he's doing full time. He's got some trad wife content.
I just searched Johnathan Jacob-Meier.
Oh yeah, he's got trad wife content.
Yeah. Yep.
What? How does someone like him make? Or I guess I've seen that before. Men talking about the ideal woman, how to be the ideal woman.
Yeah, just read some of these titles.
Donor, but why? 7 months ago, dude. This is against the law for you. Save your family. Saving your family from slavery.
No more births equals no more church.
And he's got random top 5 clothes to wear in Istanbul.
I know the Netflix 1 year after is in Dubai. Dubai.
Finally, free unlimited food. I can get down with that. Where? What's the deal?
Finally, unlimited food in Kazakhstan.
So can we not watch any of these?
No, we can watch them all. Yeah. No, we can watch it. First up.
Whoa, that's beautiful.
Wow.
This is where the frame on the food is. The birds are
Thanks for watching in video blog. Today from Almaty, Kazakhstan. And we're here at some Soviet memorial.
AI.
Let's take a look.
Oh, jump through.
There's food everywhere. There's space everywhere.
Space and
There's
food.
no scarcity. That is something artificial, unnatural, and caused by civilization. Put all over the country. They drink the milk of their
This is how every video is.
horses. They ate the meat of the horses.
Oh, they eat horse meat there.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But just if you scroll down, there's like it's such a Trump victory plan to
how
average Joe
did
eats
I
raw
know
meat and raw
that?
eggs.
Trump victory plan. What year was that? Recently?
Yeah, it was
plan?
only a couple months ago.
He already won at that point. What was victory? Oh, he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Feminism, the reason for extremely low birth rates.
It's feminism.
What is a real woman? What is a real man?
Oh my God, I fucking hate you, Johnathan.
Scientists no clue about life and near death.
Bye-bye, woke.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
bye-bye, woke. Traditionalism is in, woke out.
So, ladies, you want to find a trad man?
Oh my God, I hate everything about him. He's
Why
everything
skip
hate
lunch?
in life?
Why you should be happy to be a nobody.
Glad
You
to
know
be.
what? I can get down with that.
Yeah, I he's right.
I'm sure all these donor parents though are a little like I'd be a little concerned that if they go see who this guy is and they see his
That's their
content,
dad.
they're like, oh my.
Oh, he says 2030 is when time runs out. Urgent. Time is running out.
Biggest reason not to watch Prawn.
What is no tapunu? No tapunu?
Porn.
Oh.
Biggest
He's trying to
reason
like
to not watch
censor the
porn.
video.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is Johnathan today. You know, he's out there traveling the world. And
This is a weird ass title.
God bless her, trad wife. Ew. 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 All right, I've seen enough. I get the vibe.
He's really into September, trad month, or trad wife month.
Trad. Oh, you know what? I just connected something.
What?
Traditional wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just hit me. That's what that means. I never knew what trad wife meant.
If you see trad Cath wife, that's traditional Catholic wife.
Trad Cath wife.
Mm-hmm.
What about Christian? Trad Krish?
That doesn't, because Protestant is no
yeah.
longer traditional.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
well, there you have it. The man with thousands of kids. Let's hope that the path stopped in 2023. Hopefully that court order stopped him, but who knows what's still going on today. I think we can all agree that we should probably have an organized system to
we should probably keep a little
track this process going on here.
Mm-hmm. No, but they only really are worried about tracking your data and controlling your body and your personal life. But you know what? Babies having hundreds of children. We'll get to it later. You know, we're busy right now.
Yeah, and it's like, but then you can't be a polygamist.
Yeah, right. No, shut
You
that
can't
shit down. It's illegal.
You can't technically be married to more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which
you
we're
can
not
go
like, pro-polygamy.
But yeah, but
you know
I'm
what
just
I mean?
saying, like, if you look at it from like a logical perspective, it's like somebody can go have 3,000 children, but you
Free
can't
Cody
have,
Brown.
You couldn't have a large family
I don't get why can't
with multiple adults.
you should
consenting
why can't you
adults.
just marry multiple people? I don't get why that's an issue.
Because then it's incest and they turn into like big abusive cults oftentimes. It's we could do a whole episode on it, honestly.
Yeah.
It gets very problematic. There are some families that do it, like Cody Brown Town. They do it. I mean, that worked out really well. He lost all his wives. I think he still has Robin. He's on the show. What's it? Sydney was telling us about it.
Oh, I don't remember
The survival one?
Yeah, it's like it's like a reality show where they bring special forces. I might have to tune into this shit to see Cody Brown because he's such a bitch, and it'd be so funny to watch him do something like this.
Dude, this guy kind of looks like Cody Brown. Johnathan.
Yeah.
Low key.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cody Brown.
I don't
Cody
know.
Brown.
This is an essential service that needs to be there for people that need it.
Mm-hmm.
People should have access to it, but it needs to be reliable. It needs to be safe and screened and tracked.
Regulated.
And it seems like the banks need to figure out how to connect up the old databases so that these donors aren't just saying one thing and doing another.
And I'm thankful that there are donors, sperm donors,
Of course.
Yeah.
donors of all types.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's an essential service that needs to be available.
Mm-hmm. Just got to be safe.
But we got to figure out how to control these nut jobs that that are running around.
I love this quote from Johnathan. I think I got too carried away. I should have told myself that a smaller number of children is fine. It would have been best if I had been open, but I chose to follow international guidelines. What are you even fucking talking about?
Well, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong because there are
Yeah, I
no.
guess,
It's
yeah.
like I follow international guidelines that don't
But
exist.
the way he wrote that is like, I opened the guidebook for the international sperm donation, and it said, just do it wherever you want, as much as you can. All right, Johnathan, I've had enough. This is getting gross.
Yeah. Sick. I'm tired of talking about sperm. I don't want to hear about sperm
Me
for a while.
I'm good on that. Let us know what you guys think. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, if anybody has any stories out there or has gone through the process who's open to sharing, we'd love to hear.
A successful story, a happy story, or
did you
or
know
not.
somebody, sketchy sperm donors?
Yeah. Let us know what you know.
Or in the freelance market.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
On Sketchy Sperm R Us.
Sperm. But that's going to be it for us today. Hopefully you found this one interesting. I know this was kind of way off of the normal content.
Not really. For Mile Higher? Nah.
I guess it's fertility.
This is right on track for us. I loved it.
But yeah.
I didn't.
But we'll see you guys next week with another one. Until then,
keep on taking your mind a mile higher.